And sharing my screen here. Can people see that?
Yes, great.
I'll quickly go through just on two things just to update everybody. So just on our service level agreements, we have two SIDs that we are managing in Riverside, and then there is also the SID that Anne just mentioned now, which is the Nelspruit SID, and we have a SID forum, Bombela SID forum, where the three SIDs try to lobby and talk to the municipality with one voice. So we have been trying to get our service level agreements for the two Riversides, which is Riverside Park, that's the plan indicated there for the park, and then for Riverside Industrial, which are two separate legal entities. But as I said, we manage them as one. But of course, there are two SIDs established and two service level agreements relating to each one of the city improvement districts. We manage them as Riverside jointly. Together as 324 hectares. The private space is 189 hectares, 310 urban. The public space, which is of course where we operated as the SID, is 135 hectares. Road space, 47 hectares. 47 hectares. Private open space, 88. And just a very, very interesting stat that we've just calculated based on the new valuation roll that has been released and become operational in July this year. Almost 10% of all the rates collected by the City of Bombela are generated in Riverside. And that's hugely significant if you consider Bombela is a massive municipality, stretches from Hazyview to Barberton, from Matsulu almost to Ngodwana. So it's a massive, massive municipality, and 10% of everything they collect is generated in this 324 hectare city improvement district. So it's very, very significant in terms of the economic base for Bombela. That having been said, the SIDs were established in terms of the bylaw. The city has a bylaw, and it does require that service level agreements be entered into with the city. We've had various versions of the SLAs. The last set of SLAs for the two SIDs expired in 2018. They're only valid for 3 years, and the municipality is supposed to renew them. We did submit our renewable or the new version of the SLAs quite in advance of the expiry date, but they just did not give any attention at all to these documents that we submitted. And the service level agreements that we have with the municipality have got agreed service level responsibilities, what the city is supposed to do and what we're supposed to do as the SID. The city, unfortunately, what they're supposed to do has over time been eroded, and there's almost now complete non-adherence and massive declining services across the board in the city. We really struggle now to get them to do anything in Riverside because there's also an attitude that Riverside looks after itself and is able to look after itself, so the city doesn't need to do anything in the area. So we've actually become almost victims of our own success. We did submit draft service level agreements, resubmitted them, as I said. There's been massive instability with respect to municipal managers coming and going, falling in and out of favour with the political flavour of the day. The politicians tend to interfere in political, in municipal matters enormously. And if the municipal manager isn't towing the line, they very, very quickly get the boot, as do the CFOs. So we've had a period of municipal managers, quite a number coming and going, and CFOs. And then we also had a court case against the municipality where they were not paying a rates rebate. So we are in a reasonably lucky position here. The bylaw, the Barbela bylaw, provides for a rates rebate to the City Improvement District of 10%, which is contained in all the documentation in the service level agreement, in all the approvals for the City Improvement District and in the rates policy. But the city was just not adhering to that. We took them to court. We won the court case. But what did actually come out of the court case was that even though our service level agreement had not been renewed, it was considered by the courts to be implied that it still existed, because neither party, us or the city, actually indicated that it was null and void and that there was no agreement, and for that reason they weren't paying. They didn't actually claim that in their court documents. We also learned a number of lessons through the court case, the various court cases. There was more than one. The Nelspruit City Improvement District was also taken to court for being unconstitutional. That was found against. It was it was reviewed and it was sent back to the court, and there's been nothing further on that. But we've learned a number of lessons, and we've taken those lessons and now brought them into the new service level agreement that was submitted in June this year. It was submitted to the municipality. The municipality then indicated they would not renew the long expired service level agreement, even though the renewal was, the non-renewal was actually, the fault was on their side. So they required a full new submission with a new business plan, with new documentation. So informing the council, full council, what a CID is about, when it was approved, what the business plan is, or what we do, what the agreement is between us and the city. We submitted all of those and we amended some clauses. So with some legal advice, we inserted a clause basically saying if there's a failure to renew the SLA, which of course would probably be because the municipality doesn't respond, there is a clause that says, should it not be renewed, the agreement that's on the table, the one that we have now got approval for, will continue in perpetuity on a month-to-month basis until such time as a renewal or a new SLA is signed by the municipality. We also closed some gaps that were identified during the legal process. For example, we also collect the levy ourselves, and the CID bylaw provides for that. The bylaw talks about a session, and our previous service level agreements, excuse me, spoke about an authorization agreement for us to collect the levies. The very specific word of session wasn't used in the previous SLAs. And of course, a very smart lawyer picked up on that and said, we're non-compliant with the CID bylaw. So we have now changed the SLA. We're still calling it an authorization agreement to collect the levies, but in the text and clauses of that authorization agreement, it is noted that it is a cession of the right to collect the levies in the City Improvement District. The council approved the new service level agreement on the 29th of September. The actual document still needs to be signed by the municipal manager, and we're trying to pin him down. Not always an easy person to get hold of. And the officials have now been made aware of the fact, because of discussions and interactions that we've had around this, that there isn't actually an SLA, a valid SLA in place. And they are now even less cooperative than we have previously encountered, because they're saying they don't want to proceed doing anything with us as the CID until that document is signed by the municipal manager. Of course, that's only just been just over a month now, but it does talk to the rates rebate payments that we want to get out of the city. They don't want to load those on their financial system and release them for payment until the service level agreement has been signed. And we're talking now about since March this year that they haven't paid those rebates. So our full financial year, we haven't had the current rebates paid. And then, of course, they're still not complying with the service level requirements on their side. It does mean that the CID is doing much more than we are supposed to do in terms of that service level agreement. There's a lot of things that they're supposed to do, like filling potholes, fixing streetlights, painting road markings, traffic signs, things like that, that are the municipality's responsibility, that they don't actually get around to doing, and we have started stepping into that space. So in essence, we are going way above and beyond what the agreement allows for, but I don't think they're complaining on their side. I'll quickly pause there if anybody has any questions on the service level agreements before I just move into a quick update on the GRBI, one of our initiatives in the area.
I wonder, Siobhan, can you share, would you be comfortable to share those service level agreements?
Yes, no problem with that.
Yeah, they're on the site here.
No, they're not, but because we're waiting for them to be signed.
Yes.
But I will send the unsigned versions through to Katie.
Okay.
And I think
great.
they will be useful, very useful for members, because as I said, we have had a lot of legal scrutiny on them, and some very high level legal input to make them compliant with the bylaw.
Great. So, I mean, all of this and the bylaw, of course, has huge interest to us. I've now got the same problem I often have, and we're going to run out of time in a minute, but are there any questions on the SLA? I think you've described it really well. We're jealous, of course. I know you haven't got it signed yet, but I'm sure you will. Do you want to lead us on into your wonderful project, which is the area or the public space, if you like, around you?
Yes, thanks, Anne. So this is the project that makes me jump out of bed every morning. It's just so exciting, and we really are getting somewhere with it now. Some members will remember I did present it a while ago, what our intention was to do, to create here in Nelspruit. So the plan that I'm showing there is Riverside, the area that we manage. With the green spaces that we are looking at to connect, to create this greater Riverside Biodiversity Initiative. The idea is we would create a big urban park, which is that area to the northeast where it says Riverside Reserve, 50 hectares, together with safe corridors that run through the area, separating human and cars and trucks to try and establish a human-friendly and healthy urban environment. We have an extremely busy road running through our city improvement district that is operating way above its design capacity. And that's the main road that links Nelspruit with White River and Bushbuck Ridge further north. It's the main arterial north-south route in the Lowveld, and it's actually supposed to be a local main road, but it's operating almost as if it's a national highway because there is no other north-south route, and it really does create massive traffic issues for us. So the need to get safe pedestrian and cycling paths that are separate from this really busy highway is for us quite a critical thing to do. So just an update on where we are. We have now appointed a cleaning and clearing team where we have appointed a caretaker. and a supervisor underneath him, together with five expanded public works labourers that have been allocated through the municipality from the Department of Environment. We're topping up their salaries a little bit, and we are providing them with all their personal protection, their uniforms, which we have got sponsored. So we have a local a local PPE supplier in Riverside who used to sit on one of our boards, the owner of that, and she is donating all of their uniforms and protective clothing, because the Greater Riverside Biodiversity Initiative is actually a not-for-profit. So we're really, really lucky to have gotten that donation, and that team is starting work next week. We've made big progress with our partners. We have a cooperation agreement in the works with Sandby, the Lowveld Botanical Gardens, which is part of the Biodiversity Initiative. You will see them there sort of in the middle, which is about 35 hectares, but the green space around what is indicated on that plan is also part of the botanical gardens, and we're looking at how we include them in the CID from a security point of view, as well as together with this meeting. Thanks, Anne. I see your message. And we've got an MOU with the municipality. The Spoornet thing is happening. And just quickly, Riverside Reserve, which is the big park area. It's 50 hectares. We recently burned it now during winter. Fire breaks were graded, walkways cleared. We're starting to activate. We've got a fun stroll. Free, everybody can come. If you're in Nelspruit on the 12th of November, that's this Sunday, please join us. The Botanical Science Society are doing a plant identification on the 26th of November, and we're starting walks and talks with a university master's student that we are sponsoring, and will be bringing in as an intern on the 1st of January. And that's our family fun park stroll this Sunday coming up. And everybody is welcome to join us. And that's it. That's my quick update, Anne.
Gosh, it's all so exciting, I must say. It's very exciting. Are there any questions for Siobhan? Apart from anything else, if you're ever that way, please make contact and go and see them and the Nelspruit CID, which is a very different kettle of fish, but also interesting. Any questions here for Siobhan? And we're hoping, I think we've got a link, haven't we, to our site, Katie?
It's all linked, Anne, on the site.
Yeah, thought so. Because it's wonderful to see these things that are happening, different environments. You've also got a very challenging municipality to deal with. And then, of course, as you go along, we're very interested in your social programme as well. Any questions for Siobhan? I think our team that's looking at legislation, we'll definitely be looking at those SLAs and following you, and also on your bylaw revision, because it has great relevance for us and Shwani, actually, both of us. No questions. Everybody gobsmacked, wish that they were doing these projects, but they're also working in a difficult environment. Thanks so much, Siobhan, for joining us and updating us. We really appreciate it. It lifts our souls here.